All right. I know you guys haven't had a poetry reading in a little minute, but kind of busy. I know. Um, my podcast has kind of took a back seat for now. But just wanted to stop in and talk about the new book I'm writing. Talk about um, titles, possibilities, and other things. It's February. Um, but that is exactly how life is going. Um, so yeah, working on a new book. I haven't came with a title yet. Don't know if all the poems that I'm writing currently are gonna make it into this book. Um, don't know. Probably mid spring the book should be done. Still working on it. Still getting the kinks out. Have to go through a few of my other books that's already published and fix a few things in those too. And then republish those and whatnot. Um, I'm talking about my new book that I'm writing. Go lay down.
Can I read?
No, you cannot read. Go lay down.
Okay.
Thank you. Um, not gonna get into much. I'm saving all my contents for the year, for the end of the year. They're not getting a book. Did I give you one already? All right, I'll get you one. Go lay down. All right, go lay down. I'll get you one. Go lay down. Yeah. So I will do a big broadcast at the end of the year to talk about the whole 12 months of the year. So I'm not doing that content right now. That would be the end of the year stuff. Like I said, it's a new book. Don't have the title yet, so I'm not quite sure. Like the aspect of the book, my books never have a set genre or set like storyline, or unless you count the erotic short story book that I wrote, that was a set genre. That was erotic fictions, fantasies, and poetry. So that was the only one out of all the books I've written that had a set from finish to end genre. Usually my books are like a mix of different things, different poems. So I'm not too sure which direction this one will go in, but I would read one or two of the poems that I have written so far. Um, so far that I've written down 5, but I have more on my phone that have not transferred to paper because I like to write it in my phone and then transfer it to paper because sometimes my spelling, I write the way I spell. So I would like write in my phone because my phone can automatically check my spelling. And then from there, I will send the file to my email. And then from my email, I will re-edit the book again, put it in book format, and publish it out. But writing it, my poems out helps me decide what poems will go in the book, in what order. Um, Say if I write 100 poems, I wrote a 100 poem book already, so I will not do another one of those. Uh, but if I write 100 poems, I might divide that into 2 books. 50 poems in one, 50 poems in another. Um, so right now, I have 5 written down, and I have over, I would say, 20 in my phone. So over 20 in my phone plus the 5, that might be 75 poems that I currently have written down between paper and um, typing wise in my phone. Um, So I'll have to decipher those poems and figure out what would go inside this book. As I'm writing my poems down, I have them so far. I have them in order, which poems, and I'm definitely putting it in the book. The first 5 poems will be published in said book, but then I have to go through the rest of my poems and decipher what poems I'm going to put into this book. I don't know, maybe 50, maybe 60, depending on how many poems I have written. Like I said, I have over 20 poems, but I do probably want to divide them into 2 books. I'll probably do one spring release and do one at the end of the year. It's just depending on how my semester in the fall goes, if I have time in between writing, working, family, the kids, my boyfriend, he's very supportive of my poetry. I bounce off ideas to him all the time, especially writing. I read my poems to him, I send them to him to get his opinion and feedback. So he's a big advocate on my poetry. He likes the stuff that I write. I do tend to zone out sometimes when I'm with him and I'm in a mood of writing. Just try to get my ideas down before I lose my train of thought. Going into the first poem of the book that I definitely for sure know I'm putting in there because I feel like this one speaks to a lot of people. It's called Rewrite Your Story. Go laugh in the shadows where silence dwell. Go win in the arenas you once feared to tread. Go love in the cracks where the heart was held. Go dream in the night, let the whispers be led. Go soar like the eagles, past valleys of doubt. Go shine like the sun through the clouds that once roamed. Go embrace every journey, each twist, every route. Go rise from the ash, from storms that once formed. Go find peace in the chose. Let storms turn to calm. Go be the fair strength that you spirit once sought. Go weave all your stories and let every psalms be. Be threads of your courage for battles well fought. Rewrite your own tale. Let the ink bleed with grace. Your past is a canvas and life is your space. So that's definitely one of the poems that I'm definitely putting in the book. It's going to be the first poem in the book. It's called Rewrite Your Story. And I feel like it speaks to people a lot because we have a tendency sometimes to let people write our stories for us. And I feel like, especially with me rewriting my own story, living in my own truth and living my life the way I want to. I'm living it unapologetically, not caring what anybody thinks. And just coming from where I have come from and situations I have been through, turning those chapters and rewriting my story, rewriting my history, rewriting me, like letting people know have grown into a person that I'm proud of. Just going back over the first 31 years of life, and can't change everything, but when you look at a lot of the things that you have done, all the things you went through, you mentally check like, yes, I did a lot of wild stuff. Was groomed in many different ways. A lot of the relationships I was in were not healthy relationships. They were very unorthodox, very perverted relationships. And I can admit to that now, especially with talking with my fiance, with him a lot, and him just opening my eyes to a lot. It is grooming when you date older men that's older than you. It is grooming. No matter how old you are, especially when they're 20, 30 years your senior, it is grooming. And when you think about it, you think that it's love, and it's not. It's manipulation, it's controlling, it's narcissism, it's gaslighting. It's many different things balled up into one. And I live by these things a lot of people don't realize is that when a person is done mentally, they will check out before they physically check out. And what that means is like with my past relationship, the one that currently, well, not currently, had ended almost 2 years prior. Um, I had mentally checked out in 2021, the year my mom died. And when I tell you I mentally checked out, we had my mother's funeral service. My mom was cremated, but we had a funeral service. She had a casket, beautiful service. Um, my daughter's dad had left me in the house with the kids to go out and drink. Mind you, I just laid my mother to rest. I'm still grieving my mom. I mentally checked out. I mentally was done. I physically wasn't done until I started therapy. And I realized that I deserved a lot better. And I knew it wasn't my fault. I knew that I was growing and changing and figuring out life, trying to get to where I wanted to be, and trying to just constantly be the mom, the woman that I am, such it to my children. Um, so I began to rewrite my story. I had to let go of what people think of me. And I was like, I'm not defending my character to anybody no longer. That's just not what I'm doing. Um, I generally was just like, it's time for a change. The story has to be retold. I'm not in my early 20s no more. I'm not in my mid 20s. I'm now in my 30s. So things had to change. Things had to, just be different for everybody involved, just not for me, but for the kids. Um, so when you're going through life, don't define the first half of your life. You can always rewrite your story and change it, and not change it, but like use the stuff that happened to you or stuff you went through to rewrite it, to take those lessons and grow from them, those mistakes, those decisions. Don't let those define you. It's life. Life is, nobody's not meant to be perfect. Nobody's not meant to, you know, um, nobody's not meant to be the same version of themselves. We all go through this 10-year period of want to change or finding ourselves again and figuring out life. I had to figure out life outside of being a mom full time because my identity was my kids. I'm a mom first, and whatnot. So this poem is called "The Vision of Irene." It's named. It's about me in so many words. Just about the vision that I have in a whole of just me writing and life and how my thought process go through and what motivates me the most. Um, so in the quiet chambers of her mind, words dance like whispers in twilight air. Each thought a flicker, a glow, a flickering flame, painting worlds where shadows breathe and sigh. Her pen, a magician casting spells, unleash dreams that spiral and twist. Mountains of hopes rise from valleys of doubt, while rivers of sorrow crave paths of joy. She weaves the fabric of lost tomorrows, threading laughter through tears like silver strands. In the tapestry of existence, a vibrant hue, each character, a heart beating echo starlight. The ink stains her fingers, a scarred mark, as she seeks the truth hidden in silence. Beneath layers of fiction, life waits to bloom, and the universe listens, eager, alive. In solitude, she gathers the fragments, chasing the echoes that linger like mist. whether every stroke a sympathy unfolds, crafting eternity from the breath of a moment. And that poem is just, about me writing and how I vision my poetry, what stories I want to tell, what awareness I want to bring to the table. Um, Especially like right now, we live in an uncertain time. These next 4 years are very crucial. We don't know what it will bring. Um, so it's more like trying to figure out what I see in the moment, what I breathe, what I feel, what senses are heightened in that moment. Um, so that's one of the poems in the book. Go lay down. All right, well, take your tissue and go lay down. Um, and I hope I'm still working on titles. Haven't quite figured out the kink yet of titles yet. Um, but this is my new tag handle, Goddess of Peace. I'm revamping my YouTube channel, my whole image, trying out something different. But I'll see you guys at the end of the year. Unless I decide to do a magic, another poetry reading or book review on my book, or pre-book release before I publish it. But thank you guys. Have a good night.